Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the regular scheduled Taber Town Council meeting for June 23rd, 2026. I'll call the meeting to order and ask for adoption of the agenda as presented, please. Councilor Firth.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that we adopt the agenda as presented.
Thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Carried now, so thank you. And just for the record, Councilor Sorensen and Councilor Weed both are not able to attend this evening, as well as our CEO, Mr. Darren Thibault. We have Mr. Rob Osmond filling in the CEO capacity tonight. So thank you, Rob, for that. Public hearings, we have none. Item 4, adoption of the minutes. Item 4.1, minutes of regular meeting of council, June the 8th, 2026. Mr. Osmond?
Administration has no adjustments to the minutes as presented. Back to
All right,
council.
thank you. Anything arising from council? Councilor Renfret?
If there isn't, Mr. Mayor, I can make a motion that council adopts the minutes of the regular meeting of council held on June 8th, 2026 as presented.
Thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? And carried now. We'll see. Item 5, business arising. There are none. Item 6, bylaws. Item 6.1, proposed bylaw 5-2026, access to information and protection of privacy act. Mr. Osmond.
Thank you very much. As part of the 2026 budget, council approved a project for us to review all of our Privacy Information Act materials. This is the first revision coming out of there. Has been prepared by the consultant using best examples available in the province. And so this just brings our bylaw into alignment with the new legislation that came out last year.
All right, thank you. Any questions arising? All right, someone prepared to make the first required motion? Councilor Sparks?
Yes, Mayor Prokop, make the motion that council gives first reading to bylaw 5-2026, being the access of information and protection of privacy bylaw as presented.
Thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Karen Nansby, thank you. Councilor Firth?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that council give second reading to bylaw 5-2026, being the access to information, ATIA, and protection of privacy, POPA, bylaw as presented.
Thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Karen Nansby. Councilor Antnock?
Just a question on the third one. Unanimously, is that okay, even though not everyone's here? Okay.
Yeah, I did just clarify that actually, just on at our agenda setting meeting. So
Perfect.
yes, it's whoever is in attendance.
Thank you.
right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that council unanimously agrees to proceed with the third reading to bylaw 5-2026, being the access to information, ATIA, and protection of privacy, POPA, bylaw.
All right, thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Karen Nansby, thank you. Councilor Renfret?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm able to make the last motion that council gives the third reading to bylaw 5-2026, being the access to information, ATIA, and the protection of privacy, PUPA, bylaw as presented.
Thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. On to item 6.2, bylaw 2126, land use bylaw, rezoning. Mr. Osmond.
Thank you very much. I'll invite Hillary Jensen, Director, to come speak to this item.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. So this is for third reading of bylaw 21-2026, and it's for rezoning from light industrial to medium industrial. This is the third reading of that bylaw. As you may recall, Town Council on June the 8th did have a second reading and a public hearing for this particular bylaw, which redesignates the parcels as shown on the attached map. This is the Techno Trash parcel. So the rezoning would bring their parcel into compliance with the land use bylaw and allow them to apply for their appropriate development permits for some of the uses that have been put on there that are currently unpermitted. When we had the public hearing, there was no comments or concerns that were submitted either in writing or by people coming into attendance at the public hearing, if you may recall. So with that, administration has put forward a recommendation that council approve third reading of bylaw 21-2026. Back to you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Any questions arising? Someone prepared to make that motion? Councilor Antnock?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that council give third reading to bylaw 21-2026 to amend land use bylaw 13-2020.
All right, thank you. Motion on the table. Counselor Sparks, you had a question? Just wanted to chime in. Okay, thank you. All right, motion on the table. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Moving on to item 6.3, bylaw 22-2026, amendment to Northwest Area Structure Plan. Mr. Osmond?
I'll hand it back over to Hillary.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. This is also third reading for a bylaw being 22-2026 to amend the Northwest Area Structure Plan. On June the 8th, second reading, and a public hearing was held for this particular amendment to the Area Structure Plan. This will allow for a development to occur along 56th Avenue to allow for town housing or row housing to occur in that area. Currently, as described in the public hearing and in the documents, the area structure plan only allows for semi and single detached dwellings. So with this amendment, the applicant would be able to proceed with their development permit application for the row housing along here. With regards to the public hearing, there was no comments submitted in writing with regards to this particular bylaw amendment, and there was no comments or concerns expressed during the public hearing. So with that, administration has provided the recommendation that Town Council give third reading to bylaw 22-2026 to amend the Northwest Area Structure Plan, bylaw 12-2026.
All right, thank you. Any questions whatsoever? All right, seeing none. Counselor Sparks?
Yes, Mayor Prokop, I'd like to make the motion that council gives third reading to bylaw 22-2026 to amend the Northwest Area Structure Plan, bylaw 12-2026.
All right, thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 7, action items. Item 7.1, budget development policy. Mr. Osmond.
Thank you very much, Council. I'll hand this item over to Troy in just a moment, but I did want to highlight for Council that this item and the next one were both items identified in Council's strategic plan. So the first one is the operating and capital budget process. In 2026 budgets development, we had a new process for the town of Taber, and council requested or expressed interest in entrenching that process. So we have the policy with the attached guidelines. It is not our intention to ask council to review the guidelines for content, because that's an operational task, but this is the mechanism in which council will entrench the process. So with those two things said, I'll hand it over to Troy to walk you through.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Osmond. So I'm going to talk about both. Rob, are you okay if we talk about 7.1, 7.2, or just 7.1?
If council is okay, because of the connection between them, we'd like to talk about them together.
Would that be agreeable by
I
council?
think we're fine with that. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So what I'm going to do is give you just a quick high-level summary of both 7.1 and 7.2. So 7.1 is really, as Rob had mentioned, is to entrench a budget framework or process for council as well as for administration to follow for budget 2027 and beyond. So really a 3-year operating budget, a 5-year plus a capital and forecasting out further. It really is to outline what the process is, to look at, what is our base budget. So that's our current service levels that you see today. But there are some pressures and obligations that we need to complete each year. And so you'll see that. You'll also see the operating budget where there will be proposed new service level changes for council consideration, but also for capital projects for multiple years thereout as well. So that's really at a high level what the budget process policy looks like. As for more so the financial reserves, it's about more so how we're going to do this. And so it's about finding alternative funding options for council consideration. So we just want to ensure that we're preparing both capital and operating needs for the future. Like I mentioned, a 3-year operating, a 5-year capital. We're responding to emergency needs or unforeseen costs. So Perhaps there's reserve funding for council consideration to fund some of those matters. But really important here also is to further stabilize tax rates, future tax rates, by ensuring that we have some funds available to stabilize future tax rates, but also to reduce reliance on debt. And I want to reassure council, having went through some of the numbers, our debt limit, we're well within our debt limit, and we have lots of room for that, for future needs. But also, we want to ensure that we are compliant to the Municipal Government Act as well. So that's why we're also introducing the financial reserve policy. I'll turn it over to council if you have questions.
All right, thank you. Any questions at all? All right, seeing none. So basically, item 7.1 related to budget development policy, and item 7.2, financial reserves policy, related to 7.1. So I'm prepared to make that required motion. Councilor Renford.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I can make that first motion that council approves the budget development policy CSFIN-12.
All right, thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Carried now. Item 7.2, financial reserves policy. So I'm prepared to make that motion. Councilor Renford.
Thank you, Thank you. That's because I said that poop word. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm ready to make a motion in regards to the reserve policy that council approves the financial reserves policy CSFIN 13.
Thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Carried now. See, thank you. Moving on to item 7.3, Eureka Lift Station Budget Adjustment. Mr. Osmond.
Thank you very much. I'm going to invite Chris Egan to come up and speak to this item.
All right, thank you, Mr. Egan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. Before you tonight is an adjustment to a budget and a project. The project was approved in 2024, and the budget of $1.5 million was approved in RFD 600 2024. That permitted the construction of 62nd Avenue, and this lift station exists almost at the northernmost part of that construction zone. We had our MPE, our consultants, design and tender the project. We received 7 bids, and the 3 lowest bidders were very tight to each other, confirming that that is the market price for this particular project at this point in time. And so we were back to council to request a change and an increase in the project budget of $500,000 to 2.0 million, which will allow us to award the project to the lowest approved bidder.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Egan? All right, so I'm prepared to make that motion. Councilor Firth.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that council provides approval of an increase to the total project budget of $500,000 to permit award of the contract and construction of the Eureka 62nd Street Sanitary Lift Station with funding to come from capital reserves.
Thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Item 7.4, Tabor Shooting Foundation requests. Mr. Osmond.
Thank you very much. We have a request here from the foundation. We had, when they had been in before, there was a question about whether or not the requested council-appointed representative would be a voting member, and we have confirmed that they would be a full voting member. And so at this point, the question to council is, would they like to appoint somebody to their board?
All right, thank you. And just to confirm, Councilor Renford, I believe you confirmed you were good to be in that position, correct? All right, Councilor Sparks?
Yes, and with that, make the motion that council appoints Dan Remford to the Tabor Shooting Foundation Executive Board until the 2026 organizational meeting.
All right, thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 7.5, fee waiver requests. Tabor District Museum Society, Mr. Osmond.
Thank you very much. We have a request from the Museum Society for waiver of the fee of a development permit. So they have followed the appropriate process, which is to apply for the permit, pay for the fee, and all of those steps were followed appropriately, and now they've come forward with a request to have council waive the cost of that fee.
All right, thank you. Councillor Renfort.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to council, I sit on the Tabor and District Museum Society's board. They had purchased a sea can, and they were they had to do the permit to move the sea can. And the land is the town of Tabor's land, so, you know, them getting a permit to do something within town of Tabor lands, I think kind of puts them real in line for the waiver, so. Yeah, I'm really for it. I mean, I sit on the board, you know, maybe somebody else maybe makes that motion would be nicer.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Thanks for the comments. Councillor Sparks.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, through to administration. Now, what's the policy regarding this? Is this, because I see the recommendation is to not support it, so I was just curious as if there's a policy in place regarding something like this.
So the fees of the organization are established by bylaw. And so administration doesn't have any ability to waive a fee established by council by bylaw. And so the default position is that council establish the fee, and so administration isn't going to come forward with a recommendation for council to reverse its decision about fees. However, council does have the latitude to make that decision. It's not a binding or precedent-setting decision, but it is available there for council. But the standard recommendation for fee waivers from administration is to decline them. But council may consider whatever action they see as reasonable.
All right, thank you. Councillor Firth.
Thank you. Councillor Renfort, are you in favor of the recommended motion or not in favor? I'm sorry, I just want to
No,
clarify.
I'm in favor of like waiving the waiving the fee. I
Okay.
think, you know, as sitting on their board,
Right.
that it being something that they purchased to put onto town of Tabor's land,
Right.
and a fee from the town of Tabor to do that, you know, it was, you know, it's, I just thought waiving it would be the nice thing to do.
Okay, but devil's advocate, the town doesn't need or want the CCAN, not necessarily that they don't want the CCAN there, but we don't require the CCAN, so we would not have put the CCAN there otherwise. So and it is a relatively small amount, and I understand that the museum is a not-for-profit, but I just think that when you start waiving fees, it becomes a slippery slope, and because there is a fee attached to the development permit, I think that we need to abide by that.
All right, any other comments? Councillor Sparks? Sorry. Oh, sorry. Mr. Osmond, you had a question?
Sorry, my apologies. I'm not familiar with the button.
Okay.
But I should clarify that there are processing costs associated with the approval of development permits. So just that it is not just a fee that we charge for a permit. There are costs associated with administering and approving a development permit.
All right, thank you. Councillor Sparks?
If there's no further discussion, I'm prepared to make a motion. Make a motion that council refuse a request from the Tabor District Museum Society for a refund of the $400 development permit fee.
All right, thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. All right, moving on to item 7.6, appointment of deputy mayor, Mr. Osmond.
Thank you very much. At the organizational meeting, council established a schedule outlining the delegation of the deputy mayor role. At the end of June, Deputy Mayor Randy Sparks' term will expire, and administration is recommending that the mayor complete an oath of office for Councillor Renfort to be the deputy mayor for a term expiring in February 2027.
All right, thank you. So if you just accompany me to the front.
Well, we're not doing a full-length picture, are we?
Council. And Councilor Rufford, if you just,
I'll remember that.
just take the Bible in your
Yeah.
hand and recite the official oath
Okay.
of office as presented.
I, Daniel Remford, swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to the law, office of Deputy Mayor for the town of Tabor for the term of July 1st, 2026 to February 28th, 2027. So help me God.
All right, thank you. Just need your signature there.
Yep.
All right, thank you, and
Thanks, man.
welcome aboard.
Yeah.
Sure, sure. Yeah, let's take that out there. And also, just for the record, I'd like to thank Councilor Sparks and for all your many efforts in the role as Deputy Mayor. Appreciate that very much. You're welcome. Thank you. And congratulations, Councilor Rumford, soon to be Deputy Mayor
Yeah.
as of the 30th, June
care
30th.
of
All right. Moving on to item 7.7, information for council. Mr. Osmond.
Thank you very much. Two items in the information for council item tonight. The first is attached report for council's information regarding the Meadows Progress Report. Just a high-level report to fill council in on kind of where the project sits at the moment. The second item we have up tonight is a verbal update on the community center project, and I'd like to invite Director Chris Egan up to provide that verbal update.
All right, thank you. Mr. Egan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. So since last meeting, we've had a number of milestones. Primarily, the block wall that is the firewall that demises the old small ice curling area from the large ice was completed. And that goes up through the roof, and you'll see that the hoarding over that section of the building has been removed. There's now will be some work to tie the roofs into that particular wall, and then some wall cladding. There's also wall cladding on the north side of the arena that is still under hoarding until that's made watertight. But there's not a ton of work to do there, and then that hoarding will come down. Work is being finalized by the mechanical subtrade to reestablish all the gas connections on the roof of the building and through to the heaters in the main rink and through to the air handlers in the other two areas of the building. Electrical work to reestablish power is well underway. We're currently waiting for the lights over top of the rink and the heaters that specifically for the stands. Painters will start tomorrow. They're painting the entire inside of the large ice and the new block wall. And work continues. We're probably about 85% complete in reestablishing the boards with new plywood, new puckboard, and new finishes. The glass and the netting will go up in the next couple of weeks, and that'll be pulled up. It won't be in the down position because we'll still need to get lifts onto the future ice surface in order to get the lights and the heaters up. But generally, things are going well, and we're making excellent progress, and things are well in hand.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Egan? Councilor Rumford.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And it might go to Mr. Osmond also. With stuff like hockey starting, in the coming up the next few months, these reports are great. I was just wondering if something can go out to the public. Like there has been lots of questions, that have arisen, like, I'm not, asking for that ice will be, some guarantee. It's just there's, there was questions regarding score clock and, that, it's just something like that going out to the public would squelch any kind of rumors of, that it's not going to happen.
So I believe there was something in the Tabor Times, an article that provided some of that information that you're asking for, and we're still on track for the hockey school.
Yeah.
And then the full operation come September.
Some people, it just flies, like, like the score, people thought, oh, the score clock's 2 weeks behind. Well, we'll have to go to Vauxhall. It's so out there, when it comes from, the town, it seems to resonate a little bit better in the public.
You bet.
All right, any other questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Egan. All right, that's got everything covered there. Mr. Osmond, also? Yep. All right, no motion required for that. All right, moving on to item 7.8, operational highlights. Mr. Osmond, variety of reports here, correct? Anything to add?
Yeah, so we've got all the divisions providing reports back. And here is the list of reports. If council has any questions, we're happy to tackle.
Okay, I'll just go through them individually. If you get a question, just let me know, please. First off is plan and development, economic development, CAO operational highlights, administrative services highlights, fire department highlights, engineering and public works, treatment facilities report, corporate service report, parks and recreation report, and human resources operational highlights. Councillor Firth?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Not a really pressing question, but the Parks and Recreation Department report, I noticed we have 18 parks, 18 playgrounds, and 18 sports fields. Is that right, or was it a copy and paste? Is that exactly how many we have of each? It's just fun. I was like, do we? Or was it the, yeah?
It's probably about right because we usually, when we give the numbers, we refer to 35 parks and playgrounds. They're usually combined. We did have one come online, so I think Marty just split them up when she did it. So, yeah. It's about 35 or 36, depending on the new one coming online, so, yeah.
All right, perfect, thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, all right, no motion required there as well. Item 7.9, Mayor and Council reports. Councilor Sparks, can you start us off, please?
You bet. So the past month, I attended all the board, association, organization, and public meetings that I was required to attend. Things are going well with all the organizations. I attended the Women's Shelter AGM last night, and it was brought up that the provincial government has cut funding to many women's shelters, up to 5% and more. But the Safe Haven here had a 4% increase. One shelter in the northern part of the province had a funding cut of $139,000. What the government did is they cut funding to some and took what they cut and gave it to others. And so they just used money that was already there. And so a lot of these cuts aren't good news. The government has also informed all women and crisis centers that they will be changing the current funding model, which has created a lot of worry and stress in all women's and crisis centers of the unknown. They're not sure what's coming down the pike. But that's just a concern with the women's shelter. Everything's going well there. It's run wonderfully, and that's my report.
All right, thank you. Councilor Renford?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I attended all the meetings I was able to attend, and I did attend the Kiwanis Golf Tournament, which was a ton of fun, and just excited for the summer.
All right, perfect, thank you. Councilor Firth?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I attended all of the meetings that I was required to. Unfortunately, I did miss the Town of Tabor's employee recognition event, so I just wanted to say that to all of our employees, we appreciate you. I hope you guys attended and had fun, and I'm sorry that I wasn't there. I also attended the Alberta Association of Police Governance Conference. Tabor hosted it, so it was police governance bodies from all over Alberta. Some really great feedback. It was nice to network and to learn some things. There were some really good sessions. I also attended the Pride flag raising and Pride in the Park and the Thursday evening of Coffee with Council.
All right, thank you. Councillor Etnock.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I attended the Intermunicipal Development Plan Committee meeting, Star on 54th Council meeting, and they're trying to get things ready, so including part of that was sanding the floor, so I got to get a belt sander out and do that too. Coffee with Council, I got my first experience with that on Thursday and Friday. It was good to have those that came out to answer questions and just have that experience. The Town of Tabor employee recognition event was awesome. Mostly because I heard more people came this year than last year, and it was good just to see people have a good time. And we appreciate all that administration does, all in the public services, and they got to have fun. There was a meal there. There was karaoke. I left before. I don't know if anyone got up there or not after I left, but that was good. And then there was some required trainings on security that I finished as well.
All right, thank you. And for myself, a variety of meetings and document requirements signing. Also attended a number of events, including the Dr. Wes Steeds Recognizing Rural Doctors Alberta Recognition Award. I also attended the Tabor Police Service Police Commission Government Conference. I attended the Dairy Queen Blizzard Day Tabor Health Foundation fundraiser event. Also attended the Tabor Stake Center invite event. I attended the Seniors Week kickoff breakfast at Parkside Manor, as well as the cake cutting, seniors cake cutting event at Clearview Lodge. I attended the Heritage Supper event for the Senior of the Year at Parkside Manor. I also attended the Tabor flag raising, Tabor Pride flag raising and the Pride event in the park. I attended the Silver Line Trailer Sales Grand Opening, as well as attended the Westlake School Grade 2 class along with Reeve Minaga, discussing municipal governance with the Grade 2 class. I attended the Eagle Spirit Nest National Indigenous Day in the Park. Also attended the Tabor Air Cadet Annual Inspection Event at the Tabor Civic Center. Attended the Tabor Christian High School graduation at the Tabor Christian High School. Attended several new business visits welcome event. I also attended the Cooley Cafe for their retaining medical staff night invite, as well as the Apex Awards night invite at the Horizon School Division. I attended the Thursday night and Friday morning coffee with councils, as well as the St. Mary's graduation at the Civic Center as well. I also attended the Anne of Green Gables play at the Rosebud location, dinner theater invite, along with many Parkside Manor seniors. And that would be my report. Any questions whatsoever? All right. Hearing none, moving on to item 710, notice of motion. Mr. Osmond, anything arising?
Thank you very much. We don't have any outstanding notice of motions, but I do believe there is a notice of motion prepared for this evening.
All right, thank you. Councillor Firth?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, we had some discussion at our last police commission meeting about the increase in our unhoused population in Tabor. I know that there's several people have spoken that, you know, there's concerns in the community. And from the Tabor Police Service perspective, they often get the calls, and as Chief Abella said, they will absolutely take those calls. They will continue to respond. But unfortunately, if there's no actual law being broken, they don't really have the resources to address the person, like they can't help the person because there's no agency or no resources within our community to refer these people to. And so I know that this is not just an issue in our community. I know that this is in many communities around Alberta and across Canada. And I think it needs a compassionate but effective response. And so I have a notice of motion prepared, unless anybody has anything to add. I'll just read it now, I guess. I move that council directs administration in collaboration with Taber Police Service to research and engage with other police services, municipalities, provincial agencies, and nonprofit organizations and community partners to identify potential approaches, partnerships, and resources available to address the increase in unhoused individuals within the town of Taber, and to report back to council with findings and recommendations.
All right, thank you. So just to confirm with this, Mr. Osmond, now this shows up on the next agenda, or can we just deal with that today?
So the process has been followed accordingly. If council is prepared to make a decision tonight,
Okay.
that's completely within the process.
Okay, so it says either or, but if we're good with that, we can deal with that
Yeah.
tonight. Okay, sure, I'm totally fine with that. That's totally reasonable and well-written and a major concern in the province these days. So we need to do our part as best we can and help where we can, if we can. Any other questions in that regard? Councillor Sparks?
No, I just want to thank Councillor Firth for bringing that forward, and your notice of motion is written very well, and it covers all bases, and I appreciate that very much, you bringing that forward. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions, comments? All right, we do have that motion on the table. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. All right. Now, our delegations are to be set for 5 o'clock, right? There's nobody here from the delegation. Is this
The
a delegation?
delegation is
Oh,
here, yeah.
okay, all right. Well, we will deal with that then, if all are okay with that. Okay. No, we don't want to wait, have you wait till 5 PM. That's our standard format, roundabout. But, all right, if all are okay with that, we'll move on to item 8.1, Delegation Urban Forestry Master Plan. Mr. Osmond.
Thank you very much. I will turn it over. I will set this to present, and you can actually use the mouse on the table to control your presentation.
Switch my
Not sure, can you introduce these individuals, Mr. Osmond?
So maybe we'll get you to start with some introductions for council. So the urban forest management plan has been prepared under an agreement through the recreation department, and so with that plan in place now, we're sharing it with council.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Councillors. Thank you very much for having me to present this final report of the urban forestry management plan for the Taber. And our UFMP is set to echo the town's motto, which is a great place to grow. We want to make Taber a great place to grow, not just for the corn, for example, or to produce, but a great place to grow the urban forestry.
Okay, if I can just interrupt you, sorry, just introduce yourself and/or your.
Okay, no problem. My name is Mike. I am an arborist from Green Drop Trees.
Okay.
Yeah, we're based in Calgary, and we started this project since last fall in 2025, and we did some site analysis and some interviews with the park department, and then some public consultation in this spring as well. So we also prepared a final report in May regarding the recommendations and action items and KPIs regarding the urban forestry for the town of Taber. And this presentation will be focused on some of the highlights that we recommended in the proposal or in the report. As we go through that, this report is for the urban forestry for the coming 15 plus year. And in the very beginning, we did analysis of the existing tree inventory. We analyzed the species composition, and we found that one of the main focus for us would be the species composition of the existing urban forest. If you look at the pie chart in here, you can see that there's 3 species composed of more than 60% of the urban forest, which is an opportunity for us to improve the species composition. As shown in this PowerPoint, we have a standard in the urban forestry that we should try not to have more than 10% of one single species. And what we see now in Taber is we have a kind of a monoculture plantation in here. And then following with these findings, we have some recommendation in improving the species composition structure and the long-term tree planting strategy. And throughout our research, we found that there are 4 opportunities for the town of Taber to improve in the coming 10 or 15 years regarding the urban forestry. So the first one would be, we found that there is a concentrated species in the area, and also regarding the canopy, we did a canopy structure analysis, and we found that there's about 5.4% canopy coverage, which is an opportunity for us to improve. And then we found that in the climate analysis that in the coming 10 or 20 years, there will be more drought days and more hot days in the future. And then that's why we, in our recommendation, we provide some species suggestions and planning specifications for the Parks Department. And then we also found that in the current approach regarding the maintenance of the urban forestry, it is a kind of more a reactive approach. We understand there is a limitation within the area of the human resources and other budget-wise resources constraints. And then based on these findings, we have some recommendations. As I said before, we have done analysis of the existing urban forest, and we found that among all the 2,200 trees, we analyzed that there are only 5.4% canopy coverage. And what that means, and we have compared the canopy coverage of other major cities around us, which is Calgary and Lethbridge. So for example, for Lethbridge, it is now set at 7%, and Calgary is now set at 9.5%. According to the latest report of the City of Calgary, they're planning to increase their canopy coverage to 16% by 2060. We understand there's different contacts between Taber and the other cities around that, so that instead of going too far from increasing the canopy coverage from 5% to 15%, we are suggesting the town to increase the canopy coverage to 10% in the coming 15 years. And there's some detailed recommendation in the coming slides. So regarding the tree management approach, as I said before, we noticed that the current practice is more a reactive approach, which means that whenever a complaint or comes in, the Parks Department will send a staff to mitigate the risk issue or remove a dead tree. We consider that is not the optimal solution, but in regards of the resources within the town, instead of doing a regular pruning cycle like other bigger cities, we would recommend a more tree-based, risk-based approach, management approach. We'll have more details in the coming slide. So regarding the risk-based tree management approach, it means that instead of going through all those assessment of all the trees within the town, the Parks Department can do the assessment on some major area, including those area that has high tourist gathering, high tourist area, or when there's an event that happens in that area. So, for example, for the Confest, we recommend, say, for example, for next year, if the town want to move forward with this risk-based tree management approach, they could do a preliminary tree risk assessment in May and schedule the tree work in July and early August. So just before the event, all the risks could be mitigated before a big event is happened. And then we, in our report, we also included a species list in our appendix, which could be used for future planting projects, including boulevard planting, park planting, or even for the trout pond area planting as well. The species list could be a very good resources for the park department for the coming tree planting project. They could choose and pick the species from the list for different scenario. And then we also include a planting and maintenance standard in our report so that in the future public work contract, it could be form part of the tree planting specification so that the Parks Department could use that to supervise their contractor, or when they receive the tree from the contractor, they could use that to verify the condition of the tree. Those are the resources that could be useful for the town for the coming 10 or 15 years when they have major projects or even individual tree planting projects within the neighborhood. And in our report, we also found that we have set up 5 strategic goals for the town of Taber. It's, the first one will be increasing the canopy coverage, because from our public consultation, we received 68% of the public advocating for having a bigger tree canopy in the town. That means that we could do that by increasing the tree planting in the coming years, or to maintain a better tree canopy, maintaining the existing trees to grow to a bigger canopy. And by incorporating more species diversity in the coming tree planting projects, we could increase the biodiversity and make our urban forestry more resilient. Because from the finding that we see from the tree inventory, we noticed that there are lots of green ash. That's the first thing. And the second thing would be the American elm. As we know that the American elm is prone to Dutch elm disease. We know that a city not so far away from us has Lethbridge has a DED case in 2020 that would be an alarming for the town as well. And then 2 years ago in Edmonton, there are a few cases of DED in here. So although Alberta is still a status of DED-free, but there's a good potential that the DED will come to Alberta, and then by that time, the trees in Alberta will be at risk. And then the second thing is regarding the green ash in the area, and I believe that maybe you have heard that about the emerald ash borer, which is a deadly disease that kills the green ash. It's been in the east, in Vancouver, and also in Winnipeg as well. So in the case that Alberta and Taber is surrounded by that kind of disease, it's just a matter of time how soon they get into our place. So the idea of increasing the planting and increasing the species diversity will help the urban forestry of the town to be more resilient to those pests and disease when they come in. So apart from the tree planting and increasing the species diversity, we also recommend digitalizing the existing tree inventory that we have. We noticed that the town has completed a tree inventory last year. All those information are in spreadsheet. It's kind of a digitalized resources, but we also recommended to digitalize them in the GIS platform. That would be very helpful for the department to manage their trees from time to time. They would be helping them to record the maintenance on each tree as well. The last thing regarding the strategy goal is about the public stewardship. I'll go through that in a moment in the coming slide. We also investigated the 12 Ponds recreation area. We found that this location has a lot of potential. There's a master plan there already. There's plenty of space for future development. It attracts more public attention already. And with all those findings, and also the public consultation, we find that 68% again of the respondents actually prefer to have a larger tree canopy in the area. So in our species list that is provided in the report, we actually segmented the species in different maintenance requirement and like watering requirement, and also whether the crown is large or small, so that when you have a chance to put more trees in there, you could pick those species that is more applicable to the site. And then we talk about the species diversity already, and then regarding the public safety, that is returning to the previous recommendation regarding the risk-based management approach. So we, instead of doing a regular tree assessment throughout the pond area, we recommend to do an assessment on those high traffic area only. And then the last one would be using this site as a showcase to demonstrate the wildlife and the education purpose of the urban forest. We understand that we have quite a few recommendations in the report, and in this presentation, I think one of the highlights would be providing some resources over the time that, or in the federal level, that would be useful to maintain or create a better urban forestry for the town of Taber. So the first one is the FCM tree planting grant. It is a very a good grant that could cover up to 50% of the cost of the project. That would mean that the cost of trees, the cost of planting, and the cost of the first 2 years of maintenance. And then every time can apply the grant multiple times. And the deadline for the project is by 2031. And for this grant, there are 2 applications each year. The first application is from, I think it's from March to the end of June this month. And then the second intake would be in the fall, which is in starting from October to January next year. So each year there will be 2 applications, and then the town could apply the a 1-year project or a multi-year project using this grant and cover 50% of the cost. And we also identified that there are other smaller available funding, including the Tree Canada Tremendous program, which could be useful to enhance tree planting in smaller community. The grant is smaller, that is only up to 10K, but again, each small community can apply this grant, so that could add up to quite a sum as well. And there's another one called the CN Connections. That's by the CN, and then this one is up to, I think it's up to 50K. So with these 2 grants, the town could use that to enhance the urban forest and use that grant to plant more new trees and increase the canopy coverage. And then the last one is related to the public stewardship, because through the public consultation, we found that a significant amount of public is very interested in taking care, in helping, in understanding how the urban forest is benefited to the town. And we understand that the officers or the staff in the Parks Department are packed with routine work. So I think the ISA, the Perry chapter, would be a good resources to do on that, because they do public outreach for free for each community. They could send their board member or their volunteers to the town to educate the public regarding how to take care of the trees. That would be one of the very good resources that the town could use. To conclude that, in our report, we have a roadmap for the town of Taber. We segmented into a 5-year, 15 years, and 15 years plus plan. So in summary, for the first 0 to 5 years, that would be the time that for the preparation of the enhancement of the urban forestry. That would include some enhancement or some further training to the existing arborists or other staff that take care of the urban forest, and applying all those specifications and species lists into construction projects. And then the medium term, between 5 years to 15 years time, will be the time that the town would actually actively planting new trees, actively taking care, using the plan such as the risk-based management approach to take care of the urban forest. And then the long term will be revisiting the plan, because it is crucial for municipal to revisit the plan from time to time, so that is updated and then is according to the latest development of the urban forest. I think that's it. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your presentation, Mr. Mike Leung. Any questions for Mike whatsoever? Councillor Firth.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through to our guest. So this just deals with trees on Town of Taber property, correct?
Yes.
So it doesn't deal with residential or like trees people might have in their yards?
Yeah, it didn't cover, but I think the regarding the public stewardship, we could use ISA, for example, to do some more public outreach or educating the homeowners how they could take care of their canopy. Because I do agree that the private canopy is playing a crucial role in the urban forest.
Definitely. Thank you.
All right, Councillor Attenborough.
Just a quick question. Realistically, what is the percent canopy that we're shooting for? Like, I know we're trying to get up to 10.
Yeah. The current canopy coverage is 5.4%. Yeah, and for example, Lethbridge is 7-ish, and Calgary is 9-ish.
Yeah. So what are we, like, I know we want to get to 10, but do we want to keep going? Like, what's the ideal canopy?
There's no ideal. I would say,
100?
yeah.
Yeah.
Say, for example, we've done some projects in the BC. Normally, they will have at least 25%,
At least 20.
and they're aiming for 40%. But their climate zone is way different from the Paris. We've seen a lot of cities or town in the Paris that sits at around 10. So that's why in our recommendation, we are recommending 10-ish.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions? All right, thank you again, Mike, appreciate that. Just require a motion to accept that for information, please. Councillor Sparks?
Yes, Mayor Prokop, I make the motion that council accepts a presentation regarding the urban forestry master plan for information.
Thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. And any media inquiries whatsoever, Mr. Osmond?
There are none.
Seeing none. All right, thank you. With that, just ask for a motion to close the meeting, please. Councillor Attenborough, motion on the table to close. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you.